10 o'clock. My sister, Anju, and I were watching X-Files. When suddenly, the doorbell rang. Startled at who would come at this hour, we slowly crept down the stairs and saw through the window a shadow moving away. Good evening, contest chair, judges, toastmasters and guests. The next morning, I was woken up by a loud wail. I hurried down to find the front door open. I rushed out and saw my grandpa coming out of my neighbor's house, crying unconsolably. Trembling with fear, I ran up to him and asked him, "What happened? Did anybody die?" But he kept crying. The story goes like this. My grandpa had two friends, and one of them was an 80-year-old man called Sitaram. Whenever he would see me, he would lovingly caress my head, give me a toffee or a rupee. I guess it was this affection towards us which made him so endearing. The previous night, he happened to spill some sambar on the floor. No, it was not intentional. Yes, it was happening a lot of late because of old age. But his daughter-in-law had a fit of rage. She yelled at him, threatened her husband that she would leave home if the old man didn't go. Being a henpecked husband, he threw his old father out of the house at 10 in the night. Left with nowhere to go, he tried our house first. Hungry, tired, helpless, he knocked on our door. Alas, we didn't answer. He then tried his other friend's house. There, we broke down. They fed him with something and put him to bed. The next morning, he never woke up. As a 13-year-old daddy's girl at that time, I was shocked. I kept wondering how someone could throw their parents out of the house. Why do they seem to forget when they were young, they used to spill too? Why do they seem to forget when they were young, they used to be forgiven too? Every day, there is so much of negativity in what we hear and read. We come home to our wives, our husbands, kids, siblings, and parents and feel comforted by the fact that if anything goes wrong, if we have doubts about our life, about the world, our parents are there to help us. Toastmasters. I lost my mother when I was really young. But I was very lucky. I had loads of people to pick me up. And topping that list was my grandpa. Coming a close second was my dad. My dad. My dad has had a tough time bringing us up. From burning his files to burning his food. From getting regular complaints from our neighbors and teachers. My dad was kept busy telling sorry to the whole world that he had no sorries left to tell us. All he had was loads of love and affection to give. Toastmasters, this stanza which I want to tell you is written to the two men in my life. You shared all your junk eatables in this world. You used to give us half of whatever you would buy, even when we refused to share our chocolates with you. You would stand up hours at a stretch when we would go out to play. You would be all worked up when we would come late from school. You loved me when I was a bald baby. I know you will love me when I become a bald granny. and with all the hair in between. And one day, when I asked you why you never cried, remembering my mother, you held back your tears and said with a smile, because I have you with me. Toastmasters, my grandpa died last year at a tender, young age of 95 years. Yes, he believed in living life to the fullest. He loved me and my dad unconditionally. And somewhere he gets the credit for bringing me and my dad closer. I know 10 years down the line, when we birds have left our nest, my dad is going to miss us two little imps. Toastmasters, behind every successful man is a woman, but behind every successful woman is her father, and if she gets lucky, her grandfather, waiting and watching her back.